Hello, and thank you for joining me here at Tuesday Top Tips. I'm really excited to be here with you guys today, and I have a really fun topic that I want to go over with you, and it's called the most important sale happens after the customer pays you. And I thought this is interesting because a lot of us think about how do we get the person to pay us, and then the process kind of goes like this. We're on the call with them, we get them to pay us, however we did it, we get them to pay us. And then there's no process after that. Maybe it's 3 days later, they get their action plan or they get disputes or they're told they got disputes. But it's almost like you ghost them for a while. And, buyer's remorse is a real thing. And so I want to highlight that today. So why buyer's remorse is costing you your referrals, your retention, and your revenue. That's what I'm going to talk about today. So thank you again for being here at Tuesday Top Tips. Let's dive into it. So the sale after the sale. The most important sale happens after the customer pays you. This is really important for you guys to know. The sale is not complete when money changes hands. The sale is complete when confidence replaces doubt. Now, I want you to think about this for a second. I always like to look at myself as a consumer because we're all consumers. Have you ever purchased something and then afterwards you're like, is that the right choice for me? Was that the right decision? Did I do the right thing? Should I have bought that thing? So if we do that, which we do, and you've done it before, think about our customers having done that. They're paying us for a service and they're hoping that we are the right person that's going to do the job to help them get to whatever goal they're trying to achieve. And they might have built a lot of trust already with us. So we probably have communicated with them, and so we have the trust. So hopefully we have built that. But even with that trust in place, once money changes hands, there's a sense of what I call the trust gap. And I'm going to define what that means, but the trust gap happens. It's almost immediately when that money changes hands. So we need to shorten that gap as fast as possible. Okay. And that's important because when we do that, then we build additional trust even more. They never have those negative feelings. So we want to try to avoid having those negative feelings in the first place. They're going to be more likely to refer to us, feel good about the purchase that they made with you, and then stay with you longer, right? Because the trust is there. So again, welcome to Tuesday's Top Tips. Today, I want to challenge you on something that most business owners have never really thought about. Most people believe the sale is over when the customer pays. Yes, I made it, whatever that is, a cheerleading. I actually believe that that's when it actually really begins, okay? Because every customer comes through something immediately after buying. They go through this process of self-doubt. Did I make the right decision, right? Whether they purchase coaching from you, credit monitoring from you, a service from you, a software subscription, a mastermind, a course, a gym membership, it doesn't matter what it is. When money exchanges hands, they're going to feel this sense of buyer's remorse, maybe what it is. I call it a trust gap. And so we want to make sure that we shorten that trust gap as soon as possible. All right. Now, before I go on, raise your hand if you purchase something and immediately question it afterwards. So put a little raise hand emoji, raise your hand, because we all have. And so I want to invite you to what I call the trust gap, which you see on the screen here. And so the trust gap is essentially this process that everybody goes through. Customer pays, money leaves account, results have not arrived yet. Now I want you to think about that for a second. I just paid you and results haven't arrived yet. It's a little different if I have you come in and you're doing plumbing and you did the plumbing work and then you ask me to pay, right? I have already received the results. But when we're a service industry where someone pays us before they see results, it's going to create a big trust gap and doubt is going to appear. And so it's really important that you understand that. So again, I call this a trust gap. The trust gap exists in pretty much every business. So I just gave you the example of the plumber, but I have to pay the plumber to come out to check, right? And so I have that. And then as they're working, there's a trust gap, a possible trust gap in that they're doing the work, and are they doing the right work? Because I know I'm going to have to pay them, right? So in just about every business, we're going to have this trust gap. The customer has already committed, the money has left their hands, right? But the results haven't arrived yet. And because humans hate uncertainty, humans, all of us, we hate uncertainty, their brain starts to ask questions, and the questions are doubt questions, right? So questions like, did I make the right choice? Will this work? Did I waste my money? Right? What happens next? That question is very common, especially in our industries. What happens next? Right? Can I trust these people? Obviously. And here's the important lesson: buyer's remorse is usually not about the money, it's about uncertainty. So I want you to think about that. It's not about the money necessarily they spent, it's about the uncertainty of spending that money. What's the results that I'm going to get, especially if I haven't received those results yet? Yep. People don't need immediate results. That's the other thing. So even though we say, okay, money leaves the hand, results have not arrived yet, they don't actually need immediate results. What they do need immediately is certainty. This doubt appears because of uncertainty, not because necessarily they needed immediate results, even though most people want that today. Fast, fast, fast. So be fast. But it's not about that. It's about uncertainty. They want to feel immediate confidence that they spent the money in the right place, right? And so that's really worth writing down. It's not that they want immediate results or have to have immediate results. It's that they want immediate confidence that having spent their money is going to create the results that they want, right? That they made a good decision, right? Okay, so here's what most businesses do. Payments received, silence. I know this to be true because I'm a customer. I've had it happen to me, right? Payment received, silence. Customer builds anxiety. The longer this silence happens, the more anxiety is built. Then we have disengagement and then possible cancellation for a service-based company, especially for a monthly service-based company, right? Or, if we're not and we're taking a big fee that could equate to a chargeback and things like that, right? And all stems from right here. They exchange money with us, and then there's silence. So it wasn't that they necessarily needed immediate results, but they needed immediate confidence. And a person that goes silent with them, and there's no process to really engage them back and build this trust model, you're going to find that the anxiety is going to grow, and that's going to create that disengagement. And they're going to start to feel, oh, I thought I trusted this person. Maybe I was wrong, and I can't trust this person. And sometimes we wonder, once money exchanges, how much trust we can have with somebody. Money changes things, okay? And so we need to build that confidence right away. So let's talk about that. The customer buys, they receive a receipt, maybe an automated email, and it says something like, we're thinking, great, we got the sale, right? The customer says, did they forget about me, right? So payment, they get a receipt, silence. They forget about me, especially in a service-based company. So let's move on to the next part, my mastermind experience. Some of you may have seen that I posted about this, but I'm going on a family mastermind, and that family mastermind, I paid a lot of money to go to this group, and I'm really excited about it, but they help build trust in that excitement. So as soon as the money left my hands, which was a large amount of money, so the larger the amount of money, the more this whole trust gap becomes a problem. So a large amount of money left my hands. And then they immediately started sending me information. Congratulations, your family gets to go on this mastermind journey. And then they send me updates and things like that. What's happening next? What's happening next? They get on a call with everybody, gets on a call, and they talk to each other. And then they sent me a surprise gift. And so in the post that I did, I got a tote bag, and it's got all this stuff in it for this family mastermind vacation. And it was just another little extra touch that shows and helps create more trust in what I'm doing and more excitement even, right? And so I'm really, really excited about going to this, but they built that up because they built trust all along the way. And this is a skill that I think everyone should learn in any business that you're doing. And it doesn't have to be huge. The gift doesn't have to be huge. This was a bigger gift, obviously more money, bigger gift, right? So we kind of equate that to that. But what I noticed from them is the skill of building trust and lessening the trust gap once that money was exchanged. Okay. So consider that as part of your process. So they weren't sending gifts necessarily, even though they were gifts. What they were actually sending is confidence, anticipation, connection, reassurance, belonging. And if I could show you every step that they did, and maybe I'll do that on another live, every step that they did, they checked the box on confidence immediately after transfer of money. They checked the box on anticipation, like getting us excited about the experience. They checked the box on experience or connection. This is where we all got on a call together to introduce ourselves and start to know each other before we go. And reassurance, they're going to pick me up from the airport. They're going to take me to the airport. later. They handled everything and they let us know exactly what we were going to expect when we get there. And this sense of belonging, that we're belonging in this group. So think about that as you're building out your processes for your clients. How are you doing this? So it wasn't about the gifts that they sent. It's about the things that they checked off throughout the process after I sent them my money. Okay. So I'll go back to that. I got a couple notes that I want to just share with you. The lesson isn't about gifts. The lesson is about the feelings that I got from that. Too many business owners think customer experience starts when the service starts. The best businesses know customer experience starts the moment payment happens. The purpose of the gift, that tote bag, was more of, wasn't the fact that it was a tote bag. It was this gift of a feeling, of a connection. People forget transactions, but they never forget how you made them feel. Think about that. They never forget how you make them feel. So I have this process that I do. I call it every customer needs trust deposits, because we have a trust gap and we need to tighten that trust gap. So the first trust deposit is, I have 5. So the first one is an immediate validation. Very, very, very important. So immediate validation, I'm going to go into that. But basically that's, hey, they paid me, they're going to get a receipt, and it's a congratulations email, right? Trust deposit 2 is a clear roadmap. Like, what are we going to do together? What can you expect? Trust deposit 3 is a quick win. I want to give them something right away. Trust deposit 4 is a surprise, and trust deposit 5 is progress. Like, where are we going? Okay. And so I'm going to go over those quickly with you so that you have an understanding of what each one of those is. Okay. So immediate validation, trust deposit 1 is something where, like, if you're a mortgage professional, you might say, congratulations on taking your first step towards home ownership. Credit professional, congratulations on investing in your financial future, right? So we can go on, but we want to congratulate them. So it's not just a receipt, hey, you made a payment, but hey, I want to congratulate you. I actually do this in a video. So it's a video that I've made one time, and then every time someone purchases something from me, they get a video. It's like, thank you and congratulations, you're part of this journey. You know, if you're a Level Up Score user, you know that you get one that says congratulations on being a success boss, right? And so it's really important. This is your immediate validation after purchase, and it should be immediate. So automations are really important for something like that. The next one is give them a roadmap. So for me as a credit expert, I'm going to give you a roadmap, and that roadmap is going to be a detailed action plan of everything that you need to do. And matter of fact, you're going to get it pretty immediate. Okay. And so you're going to get the welcome, and then right after that, you're going to get a roadmap. And this is really important. I'm going to give you something of extreme value. That roadmap is of extreme value, but I'm going to give it to you right away because that's going to build that trust. It's going to lessen that trust gap. So you're going to be like, whoa, she already gave me a lot, right? And this actually, for my process, happens before they pay me. So they're going to get this roadmap as soon as they sign up for credit monitoring, because credit monitoring is a payment, even though it's not to me, it's a payment that came out of their pocket, right? So I need to give them something. And so that's what I do. And then we got trust deposit number 3. So trust deposit number 3 is a quick win, right? Giving them the action plan. And then when I give that to them and do their next review, I'm going to give them one thing that they can do right now that could be a huge quick win for them. And of course, the action plan itself could be the quick win, right? But quick wins are really important. And again, quick. We want to be fast because that's how we are. Human nature, especially right now, we're like, let's go fast, fast, fast. And then we got trust deposit number 4, create a surprise. So a welcome gift, a personalized video, a resource guide, bonus training for them. Maybe it's a, hey, get on a one-on-one call with a credit expert on our team. One of my friends, Dustin Ball, some of you may know him, he sends everybody gets a crumble cookie, right? And so you could do something like that. Something, it doesn't have to be big, but something that is a surprise and kind of makes them think like, whoa, this person is thinking about me and they care about me. It could just be a phone call and saying, hey, I know you got your action plan and I noticed that you've been taking action on it. I just wanted to call you and say, thank you. Thank you for being serious about your goal. And thank you for being on this journey with me. I'm excited to work with you. Something like that. Something quick and easy. It does not have to be expensive. And it doesn't have to be something long drawn out. And then trust deposit 5 is show them progress, right? So if you're in credit, you're showing score increases, you're showing debt reduction, you're showing documentation completed if it's a loan, milestones reached. When I was a very active loan officer, for instance, I had what I called the Loanopoly card, and I would walk them through like they're playing Monopoly on each step of the milestones that we reached. And that was a lot of fun for them. And it was also a lot of fun for me. So kind of gamifying it, if you will, is a great way to do it. All right, so I'm going to go into the last couple things that I want you to think about. So what I like to call this is like auditing yourself on your customer journey. So I invite you to ask yourself a couple questions. What happens during the first 24 hours after they have paid you? What about the next 7 days, the first 7 days? What about the first 30 days? These are pivotal trust gap timeframes, and you need to figure out a way that you are doing something in those timeframes. And the first 24 hours, I'm thinking like right now. If you pay me right now, you should get something. You should have that immediate trust deposit. And then what else over the next 24 hours? So think about that. I invite you to take a piece of paper out and write down, what do you do at hour number 1? Hour number 1, they just paid you. Day 1, day 7, day 30. What do you think the customer's thinking? So if you're being honest with yourself and you're not doing anything in these time frames, what do you think the customer might be thinking? And then if you're honest with yourself and you are doing these, what do you think the customer might be thinking? They're probably very different things. So thinking about what reassurances are you providing? What trust deposits have you made? What confidence have you created? Most business owners spend all of their time trying to improve the sales process. I know it because they call me and ask me, how do I sell? How do I sell? How do I get this person to buy? So a lot of people spend a lot of time on the sales process, but very few people spend time improving what happens after the sale. And I think that's where opportunity lies for retention, for referrals, for customer service, and all of that. All right, I'm going to start to wrap up our call today, but the big takeaway here, if you remember nothing else from today, remember this. Customers don't stay because they bought. Customers stay because they continue feeling confident that they made the right decision. The businesses that grow the fastest are not always the businesses with the best marketing. They're the businesses that reinforce the buying decision better than everyone else. Because the most important sale doesn't happen before payment. The most important sale happens after the customer pays. And when you get that right, you don't just get customers, you get trust, you get retention, you get referrals, you get advocates. This is a trust deposit. So think about that as you are planning and working out your customer's journey. And if you haven't done this already, I invite you to do it now. If you already have this locked down, congratulations, because I think this is probably one of the most important things you should have in your business. And I think it's oftentimes overlooked. So again, ask yourself these questions. What happens in the first 24 hours after someone pays you? What happens in 7 days? What happens in 30 days? And I'd love for you guys to stay connected with me. So you can connect with me on Facebook. I do have a public Facebook page for Level Up Score. I would love for you to stay connected with me there. And then we do have the Level Up Score Facebook group. So please stay connected with me. And then if I have given you value in this Tuesday Top Tip, please give me a Google review. I only like 5-star reviews. You've heard me say it before. If I have not given you 5-star level service, education, and training, send me an email at support@levelupscore and let me know how I can earn your 5-star review. I appreciate you all. Have an amazing day. And thank you for being here at this Tuesday Top Tips.